Bubble. Come. Ricaro, come here. Ricaro, come here. Ricaro, come. Come. Ricaro, come. Hi YouTube, welcome to an update video on our export process of getting our dog Ricaro over to Australia. If you haven't already watched the first video about this, I will link that up here, but essentially I'm going to be posting update videos on every step of the way of exporting our dog to Australia. In the first video I mentioned the Australian government changed a bunch of regulations over just in January about deciding how long the dog has to stay in quarantine for, whether it's 10 days or 30 days. They added an extra step in called identity verification to allow the dog to do only 10-day quarantine. I have been waiting about a month for this process to be finalized with the Canadian government, and I finally found out just last week that the process is now available to complete. So that's what today's video will be about, is doing the identity verification. If you look on the Group 3 step-by-step guide on the, I believe it's the Australian website, we are on step 4 of the step-by-step guide. I can't remember how many steps there are, there's a lot. So I contacted my local health authority, which actually ended up being in Vernon, which is about a 45-minute drive from me. I called them last week to see if I could do this step, and we are actually the first people in the area to be doing this step, which I don't know if that's good or bad. So this morning, me and Ricaro are driving down to Vernon so that they can verify his identity. I believe it just involves scanning the microchip in his neck and sending a document off to Australia, basically just verifying that this is the correct animal that they will be receiving on their end. The lady on the phone said it should take only about 20 minutes and there's actually no charge for the service, which I thought was surprising but nice since the whole thing is already quite expensive. So after completing this step today, my next step is to do the Rabies Titer Test, which is essentially just testing to make sure that the dog actually has protection against rabies through their rabies vaccine. I have that booked for exactly a week today, and that is kind of the critical step in knowing when the dog can enter Australia, because after that test, the dog isn't allowed to enter Australia for 6 months after that. And hopefully after this step today, Ricaro will only have to do the 10-day quarantine when he gets to Melbourne. I don't know if I will be able to film inside the health authority office, but I will touch base with you after and let you know how it went. And the identity verification is complete. The ladies at the Canadian Food Inspection Agency were super nice, and Ricaro even got some treats while he was there. The process was super easy. They had all the paperwork there already, so all they did was scan the microchip on his back, make sure that everything matched. They filled out a form, and then they sent the form off to the Australian government. They forwarded me a copy of the email confirming that the Australian government has received it, and that was pretty much it, free of charge. So that's very exciting. I don't think I actually know if the 10-day quarantine is actually valid until he gets there, which is kind of scary. There's no confirmation that comes to me or anything, but I have faith that I was the first one and that it will be valid when he gets there. I will do another check-in when he completes the Rabies Titer Test. Till then, thank you so much for watching.